Welcome to Wayward Writers. I'm Senior Literary Agent and author Heather Cashman.
I'm author and writing coach Stephanie Bearce.
And I'm author and writing coach Nikki Jacobsmeyer.
Our mission is to nurture and enrich established writers throughout their publishing journeys.
We welcome all genres, age groups, and publishing paths through video podcasts, online webinars, in-person retreats, and more.
We're here to help you conquer your path.
Welcome back to the Wayward Writers podcast. I'm Stephanie Bearce, and I'm joined by my co-host, Heather Cashman. And today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, libraries.
And not just because you're a lifelong reader, Stephanie. You recently spoke at the National School Library Conference, and we also had a great chat with the author and librarian Donna Mork Reed. We were really grateful to have her, but we couldn't record it, unfortunately. So between all of that, yes, technology, we love it, we hate it.
Yep.
So between all of that, we realized that most writers and other people have no idea how much power is sitting right there in their local library.
I know, exactly. Whether you're writing fiction, nonfiction, or researching your next historical mystery, libraries can literally advance your writing career. And we're going to tell you today how. Let's talk about our libraries, the treasures and the books and the things that we have. Heather, tell us about.
Obviously, the first thing is books. Writers love books, but sometimes we forget that libraries are also the best resource for researching your genres that you're writing in, for studying craft. They're amazing for exploring new subjects without filling your office floor with more stacks of books, or also costing you a load of money.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they save so much money. Just like
Yeah.
the magazine section. If I want to read any magazines, you can go. I plop down and read the magazine. I miss magazines. But they've got everything from National Geographic to Writer's Digest. They have professional periodicals, at least at my library. I can even get like Poet Magazine and Writer's Magazine. And so professional writing magazines that I don't have to spend the money on. And that is money saving. And yes, space saving too, because I do have too many stacks of things in my house. As you can see, just don't look.
Yeah, and I have the same problem in my RV. It's like I have nowhere to keep books, and I do a lot of Kindle, but that's another thing you can do at the library is check out digital. So it's super
Oh my gosh.
cool.
Yeah.
Super
So
cool.
that's some of the, for me, that is wonderful. Like when I finished a book and I need a new, because I read, it's like I read every night before I go to bed. I have for forever. And if I run out of a book, I can just check it out right there and load it right onto my Kindle. I love it so much.
It's awesome.
If you're not familiar with them, some of the platforms that your library may use are Libby, Overdrive, and Hoopla. And we can talk a little bit about those, but they have audiobooks, magazines. Hoopla even goes on and you can download video and all sorts besides the audiobooks. So TV shows, comics, anything, whether you want to learn something new or just let your brain chill out. It's just easy. It doesn't take up space. And there's so much out there. It's amazing how much is already on digital.
So basically, when my kids were young, they used to love audiobooks, and we would listen to audiobooks while we put together puzzles at night. And we loved doing that. And you could even get the physical audiobook to play to take home as well as the digital one. So I don't know if they still do that or not, but
yes, you can. Which
yet
is nice because you
another
can pop them
resource.
and take it with you in your car if you want to too.
Right,
So there's all
exactly.
sorts of sources. Yeah.
Exactly. So the other cool thing, I think we should talk about a writer's secret weapon, which we love here on Wayward Writers, which is research resources. So libraries give you free access to subscription research databases that normally cost loads of money. I mean, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So these are professional grade tools that are used by historians, journalists, genealogists, and they are just sitting there for the borrowing.
It is for the borrowing, which is amazing. I didn't realize this, and thank you. Some of it I did, but when we talked to Donna Mork, thank you to Donna, and we're going to have this posted for all of you to look at, to the interview that we were able to do with her. I knew some of the things because I have used like ancestry.com and newspapers.com and some of those things through the library. And you don't have to go to the library. You can usually log on to their database from your home computer. It depends
That
on
is
how your
just so
library
cool.
is set up, but it's amazing. And those subscriptions, if that's $150 a year, and
Yeah.
ancestry.com is $150 a year, and all these things stack up.
Add up. Yeah.
It adds up fast, but you can use it for free from your library. Let's talk about some of the best ones and what they actually do. So there's the Ancestry Library Edition, which if you are not just doing your own genealogy, but if you're researching anything for military, vital records, any sort of historical research, this is a great source. There's also Heritage Quest Online. This one has US Census data, city directories, genealogies, and it's something that has a lot of things that smaller towns and different things that you may not have access to in some of the, like the newspapers.com and the newspapers.com, which is my favorite because it's completely digitized newspapers, and they are all the way from the 1700s.
That is
And even farther back if you're using like European newspapers, which they have those too. When I was researching Mary Anning, I was able to pull digitized resources from the 1700s in England in newspapers.
that is so cool.
It is
I
so,
love
and
that you use that. I didn't know you
so
used
cool.
that for Mary Anning.
Yeah, I
I love
did.
that book. I'm so glad we
Uh,
sold it.
I know. I love that book too. But the sources are just amazing. There's also some things called WorldCat, which is a global catalog for locating any book or resource across libraries. And I've
Mm.
used this too with different things, trying to get some old copy of a book, something from the 1800s. It will research for you where that is and have it sent to you at your library, and then you can go through it and check it out, which
That's
is
amazing.
crazy. I have had books sent to me from all over using WorldCat.
That's cool.
So there's just so many different things. The Library of Congress digital collections are available on for anybody on the internet, but there are some extra things that are available through libraries. So if you're using your library subscription, you'll have access to some manuscripts and things that are not available just online.
Wow.
There's also EBSCO and of course Gale databases, which are academic and trade journals. So if you're looking at, I do a lot of science writing. So when I'm looking up, I want an actual study, a scientific study or something, that's where I go for those. And again, I don't have to have a subscription. I don't have to be a college student. I can use my library.
I love
So
reading
those
scientific journals.
I
Is that
do too.
weird?
No, not to me. It might be to other people, but I love scientific studies.
Yeah, I do too. They're really informative if you can understand the language, but also I think it's cool to look up the language too and see what it means. I feel like it makes me feel smarter even if I'm not smarter. Anyways, okay, Stephanie, what is this one, Novelist Plus?
This is really helpful if you are looking for comps. So you can use it as a writer. We can use it to look up comps for a book that you are writing. But for those of us who are readers, it's when we want a book that is similar. Okay, I adore cozy mysteries. Everybody knows that. But if I finish when the series is all gone, but I want something similar, I can go in and look up like Rice Bowen, give the author's name, and it will give me books that are similar to those in that vein.
I love
So
that. That's
it
amazing.
is, it's really wonderful. And it's really good. It has reader analytics. So it's one I don't even know all that you can do with it because I think it's more powerful tool than what I have been able to use with it, but it does analytics on most published novels in the United States. So if you are an author, you can also go in and look at your own analytics too.
Wow, how
So,
fascinating. That
so
is
there
so
are just,
useful.
yeah, there are so many things that the library has that I just don't think we access the way we should. We don't know
Now
about it sometimes.
yeah, I agree. We don't know about it. And it's interesting because being in an RV, I have found it really hard to access libraries because most of them you have to have a local card or a local address or something like that. But
Yes,
even if
yes.
you live in a rural area, you can still access these world class systems by purchasing a non resident or out of district card, which is awesome. So
Yeah,
even
and
if
this
you
is one.
live in an RV like me, you can have access to these things.
No, it was amazing to me because this is one of the things I really did not realize. And Nikki, our co-host, who's not here today, but Nikki had told me about it, and she'd learned about it from our library friend Donna. That you can just pay for subscription
Mhm.
and have access to everything that library has. And they're not. It's so worth it because some of the big libraries, like okay, the Queens Public Library in New York, which is a huge library system and has just everything you can imagine accessible online too. So you have availability for not only their book sources. Now, if you're remote, they're not going to mail them to you, but use their e-sources, but you have full access to their databases. So like the Queens Public Library is $50 a year. Houston Public Library, which is a huge system, also $40 a year. Orange County, another big one in Florida. It's more expensive. It's 125, but it includes all their classes too, which is a whole nother thing we can talk about. So those are just a few of them, like Fairfax County, Virginia, which is another really large system. It's between 50 to 100, depending on what you want and how long you're going to use it.
That's
So
really awesome.
you're talking about just one of those subscriptions is $150,
Yeah.
and to get access to it. If you have a small library system and you don't have access to this, it's worth looking it up. And we've got a whole list of all the libraries in the nation and what it costs that we're going to put on our Substack so everybody can see if they want to a subscription to a different library.
Yeah. I'll put that on our free Substack so everyone has access to that.
Awesome.
So, let's talk about beyond books. Okay, so this is one thing that as I have gone around the country, I will just say libraries are fascinating because what I have realized when I have gone through these small towns is that libraries are community centers.
Yes.
They are like, oh, we're going to have a farmer's market this week at the library, in the
Mm-hmm.
library parking lot. We're going to
Yep.
be doing this amazing thing in the library parking lot or at the library. They are huge hubs for these smaller communities. And they also have really grown in what they provide the community beyond just literature. So I think it'd be fun to talk about some of that.
Yes. So in
So
your travels, what's some of the fun things that you have seen that they lend out? So they call it
okay,
a library. Our library calls it a library things. Not every library, other libraries call it different titles for it.
they
I
do.
love,
So in the Pacific Northwest, I have seen them lend out fishing supplies.
yay.
In Oregon, I saw that they lent out kitchen equipment, like kitchen appliances. A friend of mine really wanted to learn to make bread, and
Hmm.
she was like, "I'm never gonna hand do the bread. I just want a bread machine." But
Yeah.
she didn't know what to do. She didn't know if she'd like it. So she went to her library and she checked out a bread machine and started using it.
Isn't that great?
So, yeah, and it's just fascinating. So, I've seen telescopes, I've seen musical instruments, I've seen baking dishes, I've seen so many things that can be checked out at a library. And also in Utah, we saw this library that had this massive garden that people came and worked at. And in New York, I also saw a library that had tons of seeds in it.
Oh,
And
wow,
what you
that's
could
neat.
do is you could go in, you checked out the seeds, then you went and you plant them in your garden. And then you harvest some of the seeds and return them to the
Return it.
library.
That is awesome. I
Isn't
love
that
that.
so cool?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Stephanie, what have you noticed?
Some other writer friends and I, my critique group, we went on a tour of the newly redone St. Louis County headquarters. It used to be called the library headquarters. Now I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, St. Louis Public Library has this most amazing teen area that has 3D printers.
Whoa.
It has a recording studio that you can check out time in the recording studio
Oh my
with all the
goodness.
recording equipment. You can learn how to do podcasts there. It has like you were talking about, it has the musical instruments. So if
Mhm.
you want to electric guitar, whatever, it's there. You can check it out. It is the most amazing, amazing thing. And you can check these things out. And it's not just at St. Louis Public Libraries. There are others that you can check out 3D printers to see if you want to prototype something that you're doing for your book, your prototype an invention. Or you can do the recording kits, just all sorts of things. There are sewing machines. You can check out sewing machines, sergers, just about any hobby equipment that you want to. There's probably a library that carries it. Now, that's not saying that every single library has all of that, but I have
Right.
been amazed at even what small libraries are checking out. And a lot of time they're packaged in kits. So what I've seen is they'll have an astronomy kit set up so that it's got the books about the stars that you can see in your area, a telescope, and just all the stuff that you need for a night of viewing the stars.
That is really
And
neat.
so it's really great. It's very family friendly to really encourage families and people to just explore new ideas and new hobbies. And I love our libraries. I love them so much. Everybody support your library.
Yeah,
But that's not all that the libraries have, is it?
it isn't.
Because they have the library of things, they have all the resources, but they also offer classes and workshops and all sorts of ways to learn. And a lot of them offer writing classes. They host writing workshops, history lectures. Our library here in St. Charles County, they have coding labs. They have business planning. You can do estate planning, science. I teach science lessons and stuff at the library sometimes. There's just all sorts of things. So, what about you? What have you seen for classes, Heather?
I have seen that libraries do often partner with other places. Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, Gale courses, and Universal Class, they're all free with your library card.
Which is another big financial savings. And there's so many different classes that you can take on those with those, and it just saves you a ton of money. No need to actually subscribe to the LinkedIn Learning or anything. You've got it available with your library card for many places. And if you
Right.
don't, get a library card at one of the places that offers that.
Yeah.
The other thing, they offer a lot of online classes that are accessible to you, whether you're in an RV or wherever. And several of the libraries, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be one of their library patrons to take their online courses. So you can look up, and we've got a list of these for you too, to see if you want to take something on improving your grammar, or you want to take something on novel creation. There's probably a course out there, and it's usually offered for free from a library.
Well,
There's a
and
lot of
even when they ask you to pay, it's not as much as you would
nominal.
pay from
Oh,
another
no.
institution.
No, and a lot of times it's other authors
Mhm.
teaching.
Mhm.
So you're going to get professional advice on how to do it. And so just so many opportunities at the library that I just don't think we all even think about.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I mean, we've gone over history, genealogy classes, all these kind of things that are good for research writers. But for writers in general, it's not just about research. So let's talk about why libraries matter to all writers, essentially. Stephanie, what do you think?
I think it's, once again, it's the whole package. I mean, you can go to your library, make friends with your librarians, talk to them about what you need, because you're probably going to find somebody who's going to be able to help you with your tech. If you're having issues with a website or need to establish a website or something like that, you've got the librarians themselves are going to be like your own research team. It's tell them what you're looking for. They're going to help you dive in and guide you to where you need to go. And I've just found librarians love to talk books and research and things. And so that actual one-to-one personal connection is going to help you. It's like getting your own creative coach. It's called
Yeah.
a librarian.
I mean, honestly, I think we could probably agree that the most valuable thing in the library is the librarian.
Absolutely.
They are so helpful. And there are times when I've gone in there when I had no idea what I was doing. And I was just like, hey, this is what I need. And they
Yeah.
just give you the steps to complete it or to help you or help you find what you need.
It is. If you don't know how to, they'll sit, and I
They
bless
will
their
sit with
hearts.
you.
They'll just sit with you and hold your
Yes.
hands on the computer and help you through it. It's
Yeah.
just amazing what they'll
And
do.
even when your branch is small, when you have maybe limited resources in a certain area, there are digital library systems that give you this global access to these materials, to these classes, to these things Stephanie was saying before that you can keep on, you can order, right, from other places or find out where is that book and maybe you'll have to go and get it yourself, but still you'll know where it is.
And the librarians are so good about that too. Send you in the right direction.
Mm.
Even if they don't have that resource in their library, they're usually going to know how to connect you with it.
Yeah.
Librarians are golden, and I love them so much.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have been a librarian, but I love them. So thank you, librarians out there.
Yeah,
But so they
definitely.
do. They save writers. Just looking at it from a professional, I support it. I'm a friend of the library and I donate to it, and it's worth every penny. So I just really encourage everyone to take time to explore what's available in your library. And if you don't have some of those resources that we're talking about, they're available at a very reasonable cost at another library in the United States somewhere. So take a look at them.
Another quick thing that I just want to add is when you go to the library, a librarian can tell you a lot about the genre and the age category that you write in. They
Oh,
can
absolutely.
tell you where the market is trending because they know what's getting checked out. They can tell you things about the market. They're just a great resource, like a bookseller, but even I think even more maybe,
It's broader.
because they have, yes, a much more
Yeah.
broad reach of all the different things that are coming in and out of the library, and they're talking constantly to other librarians, to other writers, to authors, things like that.
Different, like we were saying, I just spoke at the National School Library Association, and oh my
Mhm,
gosh, your school librarians know so much. But that to me was one of the best parts of that whole conference was getting to pick the brains of the librarians.
mhm,
I got to sit and talk with a lot of librarians from all across the country and find out, like, some of the things that I found out just as a writer is that they really are wanting shorter manuscripts for kid lit.
mm,
They're wanting graphic novels. Kids love them, but they're also hoping they're hoping to see is they want more illustrations in like middle grade,
yeah,
so that it not necessarily turning a book into a graphic novel, but so there would be more illustrations in there to help the
yeah.
kids. So I feel if you can sit down and talk with librarians, they've got the pulse of what readers want. It was very interesting because I was like, what can you not keep on your shelves? And I was talking to some middle school and high school librarians, and they're like, sports and romance. And I was like, I'm out of luck as a writer, but I'm passing that on to the rest of you authors out there. They want sports and romance, more of
Yeah,
those, and sports romance if you
yep,
can do that. So I thought that was very interesting because I would not get that. That's, I don't know. Dinosaurs are still big for the little guys. I'm okay.
always, always. Yeah.
I think, that research, I think you're right, Heather. Take that time and talk to those librarians.
Yeah. Thank you so much to all you librarians out there, and especially to Donna Mork Reed, who reminded us about how powerful these places can be for writers.
And thank you for listening. Go get a library card or two and see how your library can elevate your writing journey. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayward Writers.
Let's connect. Find us at waywardwriters.com, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
See you next time. Conquer your path.